Hi guys, Diplomat here, and I'm bringing you the finals of the ESL Community Cup number 22, and this was played just last Sunday, and this is the first game. So Vane's meet, my opponent, he came out and picked Empire, so I went and counter-picked with Chaos. I just thought that, since it's a best of 5, you've got to use a lot of different factions, and Chaos, they are weaker than Empire, but I'd say they have a decent chance, so I just decided to give it a go and see what I could do with Chaos in this match. So I've gone with 3 Chaos Spawn in the back. I like these guys because you kind of use them similar to Crypt Horrors with vampire counts, but they're unbreakable as well, so they're going to be in the fight for quite a long time at least. And then I've got 3 Forsaken, just for the kind of quick DPS on these guys, even though they're not very sturdy. And then I've got some Chaos Marauders, 2 units, and then 1 with great weapons. And then I'm kind of relying on my Chaos Knights with lances. These are going to give me a lot of mobility and anti-infantry killing power. And then I've gone for a Chaos Lord on a horse, as well as a Chaos Sorcerer Fire. The Fire Sorcerer's got the 2 buffs, the Flaming Sword and the Cascading Cloak, which are going to be able to allow my guys to do a lot more damage. And then we've got these little Chaos Warhounds of Poison. The idea was I could use these to help out in a cav fight, but since he's not brought any cav, they're going to be kind of used for flanking forces. Now he's gone really infantry heavy with 4 Spearmen, I think, or yeah, 4 Spearmen and 4 Greatswords, and then a bunch of Skirmishers. So I've got to rush him early on since he's got all these Skirmishers. I'm going to engage across the line with my infantry, and he's going to go straight for my general. Now, thankfully, I've got my Chaos Knights and my Chaos Fire Sorcerer, so he's going to focus all his heroes in this little area. He's invested a lot in these 4 flying heroes, and he's managed to take my Chaos Lord down very quickly, but I'm starting to win a couple of the infantry fights. Getting the Forsaken into the Spearmen just kills them off so quickly. I managed to do that on both flanks, but the Great Swords are going to be punishing me now. The Chaos Warhounds actually got into the Sterling's Revenge, but they got routed so quickly. That was quite disappointing. And now, in this little blob, he's not chased down my general. Look, my general's routed, but he's come back now and he's going to be able to use his potions. And this was a big mistake on his part because his Manticle's got chopped now with the Chaos Spawn, losing a lot of health. The Empire Captain, the General and the Amber Wizard aren't really doing much at this point. So, since he didn't have any cavalry, my Chaos Knights have been able to go all the way around this flank, and they're going to get into his skirmishers now, so they're going to be able to do a lot of damage here. I managed to kill his Manticore, and my Lord is back in the fight. We're both using all our abilities. I'm taking a lot of hurt here, but his General's gone down to half HP himself, and you can see it's dropping really quickly. He's going to bright now. So I've got Stand or Die, Cascading Cloak, Flaming Sword, and then the Chaos Spawn and the Chaos Knights with lances. All of that together, his heroes just aren't going to be able to do enough damage, and my general's actually still alive through all of that, so that's quite a good result for me in this part. These Chaos Knights have done a really good job of just like babysitting my general basically, and making sure he doesn't die. So the infantry fight has kind of gone in his favour, but I've still got small pockets of units left. I've got a few Forsaken, Chaos Marauders, some more over here, and I've still got this full unit of Cav, which is just going to carry on chasing down the Skirmishers. The Skirmishers can do so much damage against like the lightly armoured Chaos Spawn, especially with the such big hitboxes on these guys, and they can also do pretty decent damage against my my cavalry. So he sent Great Swords into this fight, but they were kind of a little too late, and now they're going to get isolated and they're going to rout. But he's still got 2 pretty healthy units of Great Swords over here. He's got some Spearmen with decent health, and his General, which is the big factor at this point. I'm going to get a really nice charge on this Great Swords unit. They're going to lose a lot of HP quickly. So there's a big fight going on here at the moment. I'm going to send the Chaos Spawn in, but the Great Swords, obviously, they're not going to rout very quickly, and with all this hero support. And my general's on low HP at this point. And now the terror from the Griffin is going to really take its toll on my units. Like, the greatswords dropped down pretty quickly early on, but they've stabilised now and I'm not able to break through. And the superior morale of the Empire units at this point is really going to help out. So our Marauders are the first to break, and now my General's been terrified, so is my Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. And it's really looking bad for me at this point. The Chaos Spawn, they're unbreakable like I mentioned at the start, so they're going to be really useful here, just tying down the rest of these units. I've still got this full unit of Cav, which is really important now, but you know, my General's almost dead now. I haven't really got much to protect him with. I kind of out of desperation, I use a Cascading Cloak of Fire on the Chaos Knights with my Fire Sorcerer. I'm going to chase down the rest of these skirmishers. I can see he's trying to finish off my Lord with his Empire Captain, which is a good move. But now the Chaos Knights are going to back him up, and they're going to surround this Captain. And the Captain's not going to be able to escape now, and you can see they actually do really good damage now. He's popped Focus Seeker, but he's still not going to be able to escape, and the Empire Captain died pretty quickly in that scenario. The General of the Empire is quite close in this scenario, but he can't afford to try and snipe my Sorcerer because he's on such low health himself. It would be way too risky at this point in the game. So I'm going to go straight into the Spearmen, pull out so I don't get bogged down by this infantry, and send in this small unit of Marauders just to finish these guys up. And now I've managed to actually rout the Empire Captain, so it's kind of looking fairly even in the late game now. I've got this unit of Chaos Knights which are pretty much untouched. I'm going to be cleaning up some crossbowmen in the back. My General's over here, he's on really low HP, but the Empire Captain's completely shattered, and now he's only got infantry at this point. Some crossbows as well, which are fairly useful, but the great swords are all on really low HP. This is the healthiest unit, and it's just some spearmen. His General's on low HP now. So it's really going to come down to whether my Chaos Knights can get a good enough charge, and whether I can keep my General alive. And stop his General from killing mine. So I've also got these other two units in the back, and now the problem is now his General could take out either one of these units just on his own, mainly due to terror. So I'm being really careful with these guys. I don't want to send them in too aggressively yet, especially while I'm trying to finish up these units over here. Another thing is he's kind of being smart and just sitting here in this forest. You know, technically he should be trying to attack me, but I can't really blame him when he's just sitting here and he's getting his fatigue back. So all his units are winded, but by the time we engage, these guys are probably going to be fresh, which is going to make them a lot more effective in combat. So I'm making sure to group up my units over here. That way, if he tries to go and attack with his General, then my cavalry are going to clear him up. Unfortunately, these crossbowmen came back, so I'm just going to have to chase these guys a little bit, and they get scared straight away and start routing. So it's kind of shaping up for a little final showdown over here. I'm going to start bringing these guys over. I noticed his General flying over, so the plan is if he tries to chase one of these guys down with his General, I'm going to be able to attack his infantry in the centre, and hopefully the General's going to be too far away to actually help out with it. So as you can see, my Knights are really tired at this point. They've been running around all game, and his units are on fresh, so that's a nice little advantage for him. So I'm going to try and wait out a little bit and maneuver these guys into position, but obviously I don't want to wait too long. This also gives me time to get some more mana up from my Fire Sorcerer, and get Stand Your Grounds back up for the Chaos Lord, or whatever the equivalent is, the one that gives like a melee defense and is it an armor buff, something like that. Basically it makes him survive a little bit better, which is going to be really useful against the General of the Empire. So we're both just kind of squaring off at this point. going to be moving these guys into position. I'm putting them at opposite ends so he can't clean them both up at once with his general. And now his general's kind of a little bit away, so I'm going to start moving up with my main force. I can't actually see these guys over in this side of the forest. They're hidden at the moment, so that's why I'm aiming for this unit of spearmen first. As you can see, he kind of got baited into chasing these guys down, and his general's quite far away. So in the initial charge, I should be able to possibly rout some of these guys. I can't see what's in the woods, so I'm going to send these guys around the flank, try and get a bit of better vision, and these guys are going to go straight in the front. And he's in such a thin formation that I go straight through the middle. Yeah, these spearmen have almost routed at this point. I'm going to be able to pull out, pretty quickly. He's got nothing to tie me down over here. I send in the Forsaken in the flank, and these guys get wrecked pretty quickly against all them great swords and the general. But again, one of these generals over there in that fight, I've just routed all this infantry over here, and now I get another good charge with my my Chaos Knights unit, and these guys have been at full health pretty much all the game. Use the Cascading Cloak, and I've kept this unit back because I know he's going to come in with his general. I pop Stand or Die just before he comes in, and then I'm going to swamp him with my Chaos Knights unit and my Social Fire, and his general's going to die pretty quickly, and that's the end of the game. So yeah, it was a really good game, really close in the end. But it was just that full unit of cav that really made the difference. Now, if you bring in Empire against Chaos and you don't have any Demigryph Knights, then you're kind of screwed if the Chaos player brings Chaos Knights and he plays well with them. Like, a lot of people like to bring Dragon Ogres with Chaos, which I think is a decent choice. However, they're kind of a little bit more susceptible to this like infantry and skirmisher thing that a lot of people go with. Like, you saw earlier in the game, like, these Chaos Knights were really good against the heroes that he brought and good against the infantry. So I think Dragon Ogres kind of lack the same anti-infantry capabilities, and also they're like 300 gold more expensive. So the Forsaken got really good kills as well, and that's because I use them against the right targets. Now, when I was going in, I used my Forsaken against the Spearmen to make sure they get like the maximum kills, and then I sent in the Marauders and the Chaos Spawn against the Forsaken. So that's a lot better combination. If I sent the Forsaken in against the Greatswords, they're going to lose pretty handily, and you know, the Marauders, like, if I send in the Chaos Spawn and the Marauders against the Spearmen, they're going to win. If I send in the Forsaken against the Spearmen, they're going to win. But the Forsaken are going to do it a lot more quickly because they've got such high attack. My Chaos Lord and my Chaos Fire Sorcerer did pretty well. Like, they had really good survivability. Even though they might not seem like the tankiest of heroes, the fact that they're on horses and they're like kind of inside this Chaos Knights unit all the way through the game, it just really benefited them. And even with, like, including the Manticore, that's 4 units just dedicated to try and kill my general, and he still didn't manage to do it in the end. The Chaos Spawn, I probably won't bring 3 of these guys again in the future. They kind of got countered pretty hard by all the skirmishers on his side. However, I do like using them. They do good damage in these little blob fights against the heroes. So yeah, maybe bring 1 or 2 in the future. And these Chaos Warhounds, they were really disappointing for me. I think, like, they got killed just by fighting skirmishers. Like, these are the sort of units they're supposed to be able to kill off, you know, use the mobility. So on his side, the greatswords were reasonably useful, but he was kind of lacking mobility. Like, my knights were just able to boss the game, so I would have liked to see some Demigryph Knights probably. Maybe invested a little too much into skirmishers, considering they didn't get loads of kills. They focused down my Chaos Spawn, but outside of that they didn't have a massive impact. And yeah, he definitely overcommitted with his heroes. considering he wasn't able to actually achieve his goal, which was taking out my ward. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I'm going to be bringing the rest of the battles from this little series, so see you later. Peace.